Now at 5:30, and the race to be Florida's next governor, Republican Congressman Byron Donalds has the endorsement of President Trump and a campaign war chest of more than $45 million. So he is the clear frontrunner in every poll. But with that lead comes new scrutiny about his past.
CBS Miami's Jim DeFede spoke to Donalds recently for nearly an hour on a wide range of topics, including his arrest when he was just 18.
That's right. Byron Donalds has often told the story about being arrested in Florida when he was 18 for possessing marijuana. But as you will hear in my conversation with him, the congressman now admits for the first time he didn't just possess drugs, he was also dealing them at the time. But he says it's his redemption story that people should focus on.
Stupid decision. Honestly, I was walking down the street. I was leaving a party. Officers came up, asked me if I would empty my pockets. I said, yes, of course. I had a dime bag of marijuana in my pocket. That's the story.
Your ex-wife says that you were actually not just possessing drugs, but you were selling small amounts of drugs.
Yeah, it was bad decisions.
So you were.
I can't undo that decision.
So you were selling.
Yeah, for a period of time, low-level amounts, terrible decisions. Jim, like I told you, those years of my life, there are a lot of things I wish I could undo. I wish I could, but I can't do that. You know, I was a youth leader for 12 years in my community in Southwest Florida. And what we always told the young kids is that when you mess up, you make up, but you never give up. And I messed up early on. It's one of the reasons why I spent so much of my other years in Southwest Florida mentoring young kids, serving in my church, helping them make sure they don't make the decisions that I made when I was 18. And I would tell people, if you examine my life since 20 years old, my life has really been a story of redemption.
After his arrest on the drug charge, Donalds was allowed to enter a pretrial diversion program. Donalds was arrested again when he was 20 on fraud charges. He pled no contest and later had his record sealed and then expunged. And yet, while in Congress, Donalds is sponsoring a crime bill that critics say would deny young adults in the District of Columbia the same opportunity for a second chance that he received. There are those who believe that the stance you're taking now is hypocritical, given that some of the very grace that you were shown in cases in Florida, you would deny to people in similar situations in the District of Columbia.
I will never say that what the decisions I made when I was very young were right decisions or smart decisions. They were terrible decisions, desperate decisions. But in Florida, I had to face the music as an adult. In D.C., they were letting 20 or 4-year-olds be tried as juveniles. That's not right, Jim. What we did in the D.C. Crimes Act is we made sure that people who were of that age, people who are the age of maturity, the age of adulthood, were going to be tried. Exactly.
The age that you were.
And in Florida, I had to face the music as an adult, not as a juvenile. Now, Florida does have laws around diversion, being able to seal records, and yes, those were things that were afforded to me. And I look back on those days and I say, you know what, that helped me restart my life, so be it. But in D.C., it was very different.
Now, Donald's D.C. crime bill passed the House, but is very unlikely to pass in the Senate. And this interview was part of a much longer conversation we had, in which we also talked about how those two arrests, when he was 18 and 20, set him on a new path, including being saved in a Cracker Barrel.
Pretty eye-opening stuff. I'm eager to see what else he had to say in that, wide-ranging interview.
We talked a lot of policy as well, not just personal.
He worked at a Cracker Barrel too, right?
That's when he got saved, was working at a Cracker Barrel.
Okay then.
Jim, thanks.
All right, you can see Jim's entire interview with Byron Donalds coming up this Sunday morning on Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede on CBS Miami at 11:30 a.m.